So we're still here at the Prismic studio, and in the first video, we talked with Sébastien Chopin about Vue.js, right? And we discussed how it is easy to start with because you can start like more or less, you said like jQuery, and then you add more on top of it until you get a single page app. And that's what's nice about Vue, the fact that you can, the onboarding is very
easy,
fluid, and it's opinionated, so you don't have to search a lot for adding things. There are by default a router and other tools that you will need for your project.
Exactly.
This video we thought of doing about Nuxt, which you created.
Yeah, with my brother.
With your brother. Okay, so first, can you go quickly on why did you create? I guess you mentioned in the last video that there is the part where you take a Vue component and you package it.
Yeah.
And there are different ways to do that.
Yeah. So one of the way is to configure Webpack by yourself. You can use some templates. So back then, it was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. The starter of Vue.js, you had a build directory with the whole Webpack configuration. So you had to understand Webpack, how it works, or you could ignore this project. But as soon as you have to upgrade Webpack, you will have to update this configuration. And this can be pretty hard for newcomers. And this is also why I was really enthusiastic about creating Nuxt. It was to abstract all of this bundling configuration into Nuxt, because most of the application and of the Vue file, you will need the same configuration 90% of the time. So we decided to take this configuration, trying to have the best configuration for the Vue project. And if you want to extend it, you can extend it.
But so basically make a by default configuration that works for most of the cases, but you still allow extensibility on it.
Yes.
So that's what Nuxt is.
So that was the first part. The bundling, the Webpack part, was one of the most complex part. And the second one was to be able to create pages really simply by just creating a file inside this pages directory. And like in PHP, you have an index.vue file for the home page. And you can create about.vue and it will be /about. And then you can create directory inside this directory and etc.
Okay, so let me just try to sum up me learning from this. First, Vue is easy because you can start with your HTML and then you add IDs and then you make them components and then you can add routing. And then you wanted to make the packaging of these components easy to make them into, to kind of build them into JavaScript files.
Yes.
You did a configuration that works for most of the cases, and that was one part of Nuxt.
Yes.
And the other part is to make some kind of by default structure like PHP where a file is a page.
Yes.
Basically, file corresponds to a page.
The idea is when you create a Vue application from scratch and you want to handle routing, you have to create a router.js file. And inside this file, you will have to declare all of your routes and import the component. And if you go inside the performances, they will tell you that you have to code split your pages, your component that you import. So it's a lot of knowledge to have for something that could be abstracted for the user.
And that's what you did.
Yes.
I mean, you with your brother.
Yeah.
So basically, Nuxt is about making all these guidelines and best practices, package them into a framework which is Nuxt, and tell people just structure your project one file per page, and we will do all the other stuff.
So with Nuxt, we're trying to give a structure where you don't have to think about how you have to structure your project, how you have to configure. We give you a default structure, and by following this convention, you can create simple app to really complex application by respecting best practice and performances.
And mostly when you start, for instance, building a website or an app, there is a lot of complexity that is not related to what you're trying to create, but rather organizing stuff, getting the router working, mapping, okay, this router is for this page, this file is for this component, and so on and so on. You kind of abstract all of that so that people can focus on more
creating the content,
creating content. But there's also the server rendering side of Nuxt.
Yeah, that's how people knew Nuxt.js. We also use the Vue server render module that allows us to server render your page.
So if we get back to the picture, so a Vue app runs on the browser.
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yeah.
Right. So and you that in Nuxt you can server render your components. Why would you do that first?
There is multiple reasons. The first one will be for SEO. This is really important for SEO when the robot, the Google crawler or any kind of crawler go to your page. If he reads HTML, he is able to understand it. If he sees nothing in JavaScript file, then he will have to load the website. And there is a study talking about the crawler of Google that when he sees only a single page application, he will delay this scrolling part when he will have more performance, more resources.
Okay, so basically if you don't want to kind of risk your SEO because you're delayed for crawling, you go and generate it on the server side.
Yeah, that's one bonus of server-side rendering.
So if I have a Vue app, I made it in Nuxt way, so in the structure that is by default. Do I have to do much to get the server rendering so that SEO? So I gain from SEO?
If you started with Vue without Nuxt, it will be a bit harder since you will have to import Vue server render, configure, create the bundle renderer, make sure you configure 2 Webpack, one for client, one for server, and also make sure that the plugin you import are working also for the server side.
But if I start with Nuxt since the beginning, is there any setup to make it server rendering?
You can directly create a Vue file and get started quickly.
Right. And what you talked about different advantages to server rendering. Do you see any others?
Yeah, the second one will be a first time to interact. So instead of having a white page when you go to a single page app, where you have an index.html with just a loading screen, and then the JavaScript is parsed and then executed, and then you can see the content. Maybe it's fetching an API,
of course,
and then you like a Prismic API to get the content, and then you can see the homepage. With the server-side rendering, this happens inside the server directly for the first request, and then we send back the HTML, and with this HTML, we send the JavaScript files only for this specific page and the full app, but the other page won't be given as JavaScript. So you will have the minimum JavaScript given, so really small, the smallest JavaScript possible to make it work. So you will see the content. The browser will display because he knows HTML, he knows CSS, so he can display it on your device. And
so
then
to sum up, just until here, and we'll not forget to get back to it, but I type the first time on my browser the page, instead of having a JavaScript app that will load and start rendering, calling APIs, you'll get it right away, content, right?
You see something,
and it's capable of functioning as an app, as a client side
so
app.
If you click on a link, for instance, where the JavaScript is not loaded yet, you will go like a normal page. You will reload the page, go to the next route. But if in the meantime you were just scrolling, the JavaScript is parsed, download, parsed, and then executed, Vue will mount. There is a mounting process where you will directly connect all the elements with the JavaScript app, and then it will become fully interactive. So when you will navigate from a page to another one, it will be only on client side. Right. So the server will not be called anymore for the server-side rendering.
Right, so it's only for the first request, and that will improve the overall user experience.
Exactly, that's the point. This is why I also love server-side rendering, because the user experience, for me, is the best. You get the content, you can scroll, and you can directly start interacting when the JavaScript is loaded.
So basically the best of both worlds. You get the interactivity of having a client-side app, so you don't get a full refresh when you navigate between pages, but still the first load of the page, you don't have that loader or the blinking of
you
different
have the content right away.
Right away the page. Nice. Now if I basically if I need to call APIs in Nuxt for showing content, where do I do that? In the component, somewhere else?
So if you use only Vue, you will usually code this API in a hook, in a Vue hook, for instance, before mount. So you will call this API, get the content, and then set the data of the component that will be displayed inside the template. With Nuxt, we created a new hook called async data that will be called before rendering the page. So you can get the data from your API, set the data of your component, and then Nuxt will wait for async data to be done. So it's an asynchronous function. And when it's done, we will render the page.
Right. So you have a place where you have to do that call, and you know how to wait for that call to be ended so that you do the loading properly. Right?
On the server part and also on the client. So it's the same code for server and client. It's in async data for the pages. And when you will navigate, I will also wait for the next page async data to be done before showing the page.
So that's another thing that Nuxt manages for you, so that you don't have to manage it manually.
Yes.
Between loading data and the loaders that you have to do, that's managed as well.
Yeah, we have a progress bar automatically that is connected to async data.
Nice.
So you can focus right inside the design and the content of your page.
Nice. And here is one thing that maybe it will get us into some kind of debate, but some people see Nuxt as an equivalent to Next on React. So Nuxt on Vue as the equivalent to Next on React.
That's how I started 2.5 years ago when I seen Guillermo article. I was already working on an application with Vue and server-side rendering, and I really like this pages directory. And it reminded me of a project I created 1 year before. It was called PGS, and it was like PHP file, but with JavaScript. Mm-hmm. And I really like this syntax, and I've seen, there is a project doing server-side rendering and respecting this kind of PHP file structure.
Simple structure, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I will do the same Webpack integrated, and that's how it gets started. So there is similarities between these two projects. But quickly we moved. We added the generate part for static exporting to host on a CDN. We managed to have the single page app mode, so to remove the server-side rendering.
But then next they got also the export after the generate you did, right?
Also,
there's the export.
I think we inspire each other, and that's what is good
how it happens, right?
In open source.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe in next videos we call about some kind of plugin system that you have, modules.
Yeah,
right?
the modules. Yeah,
we talk about that.
Yeah,
thank you.